Hello everybody, this is the first tutorial on graphic design. So today we are going to be learning how to use the CorelDraw software. So the first step is to launch the CorelDraw. Okay, now to launch the CorelDraw, let's just come to our stats menu here, click it and click on the search tab, type your CorelDraw. Okay, click enter. Okay, so this is the CorelDraw interface. This is how it's supposed to look like when you just launch it. But if you haven't started using it at all, you won't see all these files here. So what you're just going to do, you're going to click on new, and then to bring you to an entirely new page. So this is your stage, this is where you do your work. And here, okay, let's first do something. These are the rollers. You bring this stuff to this place, just drag it from that corner. So if you notice, this 0 here and this 0 here are aligned. So it's very important when you are designing, when you are doing your graphic design. But I'm not going to be using it much for now, but I just wanted to show you so that I'll not forget later on. Okay, so here is our menu bar. Here is the property bar, and here is our toolbox or toolbar, anyone. Okay, so our page layout is currently set to letter, so we're going to change it to A4 because A4 is the default paper size. Like everybody knows that A4 is the most common paper type, so it's always advisable to use this A4. Okay, so now this here on the menu bar is the file button, the file option. So here you can choose what you want to do with your files. Like for example, you can open new file, new from templates, from an existing template, open a recent file, close a file, because you can have more than one file open at the same time. Let's click on new and see what happens. So to give another new okay, it just gives us another new document. Okay, so here we have, let's look at what we have. You can also save it, but there's nothing here, so this save option is not active. So you can import pictures, you can acquire images, select source, acquire. Maybe you want to bring an image into the workspace. And here's our edits. You can undo, redo, repeat, cut, copy, paste, symbol, duplicate, clone, and every other thing that has to do with editing. And here we have our view. So and this is our view here. You can decide how you want your page to look like. For example, you are working with complex designs and you need, let's say, grid. Okay, for example, you need a grid because the design you are trying to achieve is quite tricky and requires a lot of measurements, so you can just put your grid to be on the safe side and to save you the stress of measuring, but you can uncheck it if you are not using it. Just click this little box here. So you can also, these are some other views also, but they will not really show because there's nothing on this stage yet, so I'm just going to skip that one for now. So this layout, it can help you insert a page or rename a page. Okay, let's insert a page so you see what I'm talking about. So click insert page. So here you can insert more than one page. You can insert, let's say 2 or 3. Let's just insert 1 for now. So you can either choose it to be before this current page or after. So by default, this is how it looks like, and paper is set to letter. You can change it to A4 if you like. So you can just click on OK. So this is the second page, this is the first page. So let's say you have to design 2 flyers for the same person. You can just do it like that instead of having to open another new document from scratch. Okay, so this arrange here, we can use it to arrange objects. It is mainly for objects. You can convert to curves, convert a certain object or text or anything. You can just convert it to curves here, and combine shapes, group on group, order how you want them to stay, maybe to the front of the page, or front of layer, back of layer. And also here you can align your objects. So when we come to effects here, effects are majorly for everything. You can use effects on your objects and also on your picture. By the way, images or pictures are called bitmaps in CorelDraw. So these are the options for editing bitmaps. Okay, so under this effects, you can choose to adjust the contrast or tone or brightness or color balance. You can transform it, use artistic media. Okay, this one is already checked. Can extrude, or extrude means to like drag something out or something, just like to contort something, to expand it. And bevel means to like make a particular surface more smoother. And lens, I don't really use that one, but okay. We have power clip here. Power clip is for putting objects inside containers or extracting them or editing the content. Just the main thing is just to place an object into another object. So you can copy the effect. For example, you have a design on this page and it took you a lot of time to do it, and you don't want to be repeating the step over and over again. So you can just come here, select the objects already, and then copy effects or clone effects or something. Okay, so these effects, you can, let's say for the first image or the first object you edited, you extruded it and got some really weird shapes or angles. So let's say you extruded it first. You extruded, let's say a square. Now you extrude it to another angle, and then you want to copy that same effect to another rectangle or square. So you can just use this copy effect. So under bitmaps, you can edit your pictures or images, and this little triangle that is showing here is called the flyout. So anytime you see this in CorelDraw, it means there are other options under the selected or the highlighted option. So here you have your text. You can format your text, your characters, tabs, column, bullets, and majorly the major text effects. So the major text effects can be achieved under this option here. So we have our tools and windows also. So these windows can help us to arrange our projects. For example, we opened a project, we open a new file or document that time. So we can just come here, can switch from document to document. For example, now we open this graphic one initially before we now open another one, and that was graphic 2. So you can just switch from one to the other. So this color palette, you have different type of color palettes. You have the CMYK and the RGB, which are the most common ones. So I have other ones here also. You can just use them if you like, or you can just create your own palettes. And palettes are good for, like, you have a particular company, you did maybe a logo for an upcoming brand, and then you have specific colors that you manipulated and you got them. So you can just keep those colors in the palette and save that palette. So anytime you want to do a flyer or a graphics for that same company, you don't have to start searching for the colors up and down. You can just create a palette, and then you can create a palette and then you open it whenever you want to use it. Okay, so that's that about the menu bar. So here we have the property bar. So these are the properties of this page, this particular page. So that's why we could change it from letter to A4. We can also change the units, millimeters. We can change to inches or points or pixels or yards, miles, centimeters, meters. Depends on what you are doing. And also here are the other dimensions of the page. Okay, so that's just the property bar of this page in general. So here is the pick tool. The pick tool can be used to select anything on the interface. You can use to select just like the mouse in this workspace here. And here we have our shape tool, crop tool, zoom tool, freehand tool, smart fill tool, rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, basic shapes, text tool, interactive blend tool, eyedropper tool, outline tool, fill tool, and interactive fill tool. So this right here we have shape tool, smudge brush, roughing brush, free transform tool. So let's say we want, okay, we'll come back to this shape tool only works when you have, let's say, an object here. So that's what it works for. So these other three are just like for images, for bitmaps. So smudge, you can use it to smudge the image, or roughing it, or free transform. Okay, so here we have the crop tool. You can cut certain parts of an object you don't want. You can also use the knife tool and the eraser tool, virtual segment delete. So they all perform the same main purpose, but they just use different methods. So here we have the zoom tool. The zoom tool, you can just use it to drag over an area to zoom it for you. And here we have the pan tool. You can use it to drag it by holding your left click button and then drag it to get to the other end. And you can come back to zoom tool and then right click until everything comes back to normal. And here we have our freehand tool. Under there we have lots of others. They are mainly used, these guys here are mainly used for lines and curves. So let's say we have this, I use the scrollers on my mouse to scroll in, to zoom in. Okay, so you can just click from one point to the other point, and then let's say we've created the shape there. Okay, so using the pick tool to automatically go back to the pick tool, once you click the middle, you notice that this edge is changed. So this one is giving you the option to rotate. So you can rotate it, or you can skew to adjust it to one side. on the other side. I'll use this one here. I'll use this one. Okay, so that's how that one works. So you can also, under this shape tool, let's come back to this shape tool so you see what I'm talking about. So this, under this shape tool, you can convert a line to a curve. So let's just use to curve, and then drag this with this arrow and drag it up, drag this other one. So you notice that we have a curve there. And if you don't want to go through that stress, you can just come to Bezier tool, drag it, and then we have a simple shape, a simple curve rather. Okay, and also we have the pen tool. Pen tool works almost like the Bezier tool, just little difference, just little differences. Okay, the Bezier tool didn't have something like this when we were working with it, so that's another advantage. You can just hold on Alt on your keyboard and left click. So wait, okay, double click rather, sorry. So you double click so that the curve will stop going, and then you can just click it again and we have our shape back. Double click and it goes back. So we have the polyline tool also. Polyline tool is just for drawing lines without ending them. You notice it's a little bit different from the freehand tool. So let's just delete this one. Okay, yeah, I skipped one. If you noticed the other time, artistic media tool. So under this artistic media tool, you can choose the type of, it's just like a brush, so you can choose the type of brush you want. You can choose it to be brush or a sprayer or a calligraphy brush, so just like painting effects. So here you can change what you want to be there. So let's say for example we use this last one here, you draw it across, you have this. Let's say we change it again to say this one. You notice this one is still selected, that's why it's changing. So you change it to this one, different effects. And once we click on picture and click on this blank space, it will select again. So you can just use our tool in peace. Okay, so we have something like this. You can delete that now, and this other one. Okay, so we have the rectangle tool and the 3-point rectangle. So you can use it, you know what rectangle does. So you can just draw a rectangle or a square, you can draw it. And if you don't like the measurement, you can come here and change it. Let's say you want it to be a square of equal dimension, write 100 and then another 100 and click and press enter on your keyboard. So everything is the same shape now, same size, sorry. So you have this 3-point rectangle, and this is how it works. Very simple. So anyone that best comforts you, that is okay with you, you can use it. So we have this ellipse tool or circle tool, and we have the 3-point circle. And then we have 2 shapes, so you can just highlight these ones together and bring them here. And also if you want to change the size, you can either come to this edge and bring it down, or bring it up, or dot it upwards or to the side. I can just increase everything in proportion by holding down your shift. If you notice, this guy has 4 arrows, so once you click left click, and while holding shift and drag it, everything will increase together in proportion. So let's say now we want to reduce it to be small. Still, while holding shift and left click, we'll drag the end and then we'll bring it. Let's say we want to bring it here. Now this is our polygon tool. Under the polygon tool, you can change the number of point of size on the polygon. For now it's set to 3, which is what? Triangle. I can change it to 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, depending on you, depending on what you want to achieve. So here we have other basic shapes. We have arrow shapes. So the arrow can be changed here, can be changed to this or this or this one. Let me draw one. So that's how it looks, something like this. So that's how it works. Okay, so let's delete this and this one. Yes, this guy. Okay, so under here we also have arrow shapes. Okay, that's arrow shapes we did the other time. Oh, sorry, this one. These are basic shapes. You can change the shape to anything you want here. Here we have pre-existing templates, so you can just bring out one, draw it on this one, on this one, to save you the stress of having to try and draw yours. To save the stress of drawing yours all from scratch, maybe you are quite busy, you need to work fast and you don't have time to be drawing, to be constructing shapes, so you can just use their existing templates. So here we also have flowchart examples. So you can see some examples here. By default we have something like this. If you like something like this, you can use it for your project, or this one, or this. So that's how it works. So let's say under here we also have call out shapes. We have call out shapes. We have that one, we have this one. You notice these shapes are majorly used in comics. So you can also change how they appear. For example, this one looks upside down a bit, so you can just come here, mirror. Okay, that one mirror to the other side, to the left. But you can mirror it vertically, so it will flip upside down. Okay, let's reduce this a bit, and this. So, and also we have banner shapes here. You can change them if you like. You can explore some of the options that you have there. Okay, and those are the banner shapes that we have. Okay, let's delete all this. And also we can also, let's say we have these 3 objects and I want to arrange them in the center without having to let's just say we want to arrange them in the center, so we want all their centers to be aligned. We can either come to this left click and drag to this place, or let's drag here to the middle of the page. So just bring this guy, bring him inside, and this guy too, and this guy. So they might not be 100% accurate, using this method, but you can also do something like this. Just click on this line, delete, and select everything. Come to arrange here, align and distribute. So you align their centers vertically, so everything stays in the same line now. So their centers are now equal. Centers are aligned together. So these are the basic shapes that we're going to be using in CorelDraw. So now I'm going to end the tutorial here, and next class we'll be looking at how to use the more complex tools and how to color shapes and objects, and also using bitmaps. So okay, I think that's, and also if you want to save the file, don't forget, we want to save the file, we want to save our drawing that we have here. You can just come here, file, save, and by default to save to save here, to save to your documents here, save to documents here. So I've already changed the default settings, that's why you saw something like that, but normally this is where it's going to save to. So let's say save it as graphics design. So I'll save it. That's saved now. So let's say we want to export it as a picture. Let's reduce this one and then bring this one inside the house, and reduce this one also. Let's say we want to export this, so just come here, file, export, and then it will give you, by default it's going to save to documents also, but you can change it. I've already changed mine to a folder I have here, graphic design, Photoshop box. So this is where I'm saving it. So let's say this is going to be the first of many flyers we're going to be designing, so let's just leave it here. So learn graphic designs 01, export, so to be here. So once we export, to give us this, just click on OK, and then that's all. So if you come to your file, and go to desktop, and I locate where I kept it, where I saved it, and just click here, search for it. That's graphics, okay, learning graphics design 01. Okay, so this is it, but the lines are not quite visible. Maybe it's because they are set to hairline, which is the default in CorelDraw. All lines are set to hairline, very thin lines like that. So this is how it looks when you export it as a picture. Okay, let me close this window. Okay, so that should be that. Okay, that's all for today. Let's just save our projects, and I guess we'll be stopping here today. See you in the next class. Bye.